T-minus 10, 9, T-minus 8.
November 13th, 2025, a Blue Origin New Glenn rocket thundered off the launch pad for just the second time ever.
Liftoff, detected. There's motion.
The mission carried a pair of Mars-bound spacecraft, the first NASA mission for Blue Origin. But not only did they provide safe passage for the Escapade satellites, they also met the grand expectations for the rocket's booster as well.
We've got our booster landing burn.
The aptly named first stage booster, Never Tell Me the Odds, pulled off a feat worthy of quoting fictional ace pilot Han Solo. The safe landing of the 188-foot-tall Glenn Stage 1 made Blue Origin just the second launch provider in the world to propulsively land an orbital-class rocket. And now, they're hoping to run it back. The same booster, Never Tell Me the Odds, is set to power the mission called New Glenn 3, or NG-3. Worth noting, though, that while much of the rocket is returning to flight, the 7 BE-4 engines that provided the 3.85 million pounds of thrust at liftoff are all new this time. With our first refurbished booster, we elected to replace all 7 engines and test out a few upgrades, including a thermal protection system on one of the engine nozzles. Blue Origin CEO Dave Limp said in a post on X, "We plan to use the engines we flew for NG-2 on future flights." During a pre-launch interview with Blue Origin's Tabitha Lipkin, Limp described the state of production as of November 2025.
The production team has done such good work that even from the last time we chatted, we have, I think, 8 upper stages in work over here. We have a couple sets of engines that we're working on right now, not in addition to the engines that we've shipped over to ULA at this point, and we have multiple boosters in work too. So, the goal is to get to a much faster cadence as we learn each of these flights. So we're going to continue to get faster and as we go along.
The path to the NG-3 launch stretches back a ways. In late August 2025, Blue Origin took the rocket's upper stage out to the pad for a 15-second hot fire test to ensure it was in good condition. After the launch and landing of the booster, Never Tell Me the Odds, it then arrived back in Port Canaveral on November 18th. It was then transported to Blue Origin's factory at Rocket Park days later. Since then, the booster underwent months of refurbishment and checkouts, leading up to its emergence from the hangar at Launch Complex 36. Then, on Thursday, April 16th, the 7 BE-4 engines sprang to life for a hot fire test lasting about 20 seconds or so. Spaceflight now capturing the view against a rising sun, and Blue Origin's founder, Jeff Bezos, sharing the view from up close. With that test behind them, Blue Origin is now focused on their first non-government customer launch. NG-3 is also known as BlueBird 7, and it will carry AST SpaceMobile's newest satellite. That company aims to create a direct-to-device satellite constellation that will enable 5G connectivity across the globe. NG-3 will only carry one BlueBird satellite this time, which has a mass of 6,100 kilograms at liftoff. Future launches with New Glenn, however, will feature up to 8 satellites at a time. In an earnings call on March 2nd, 2026, AST SpaceMobile's chairman and CEO, Abel Avalon, described the company's ambitions for the remainder of the year.
We remain on track to achieve our target of deploying 45 to 60 satellites into loaded orbit by the end of this year. With current expectations closer to 60 satellites ready to ship and 45 satellites in orbit. We continue to expect launches planned every 1 to 2 months on average, starting with our first New Glenn launch expected in March. The New Glenn launch vehicle is completing final readiness for our fully encapsulated satellite, which was handed off on February 18. Importantly, this launch will be the first New Glenn launch to to use a previously flown first stage. We support our launch cadence during 2026, as we expect the New Glenn booster to be reused every 30 days or less after our oncoming launch. Our launch plans include a total of 12 additional contracted launches across several launch vehicles. Lastly, we also recently signed an additional agreement to integrate our satellites with a new heavy launch vehicle to be on standby in their manifest. We are laser focused and working tirelessly on delivering our Micron, phase arrays, and full satellite production goals. On the manufacturing front, we continue to ramp our operations. We exited 2025 having reached a production capacity to support up to 6 satellites worth of Micron and phase array per month. And we expect to achieve a testing, assembly, and integration cadence of 6 satellites per month in the first half of 2026. BlueBird 8 to 29 are in various stages of production, and we are scheduled to complete assembly of 40 satellites equivalent of Micron by the first half of 2026, bringing us to BlueBird 46. A detailed cadence of our 25 and 26 deployment plan is shown in the company quarterly presentation found on our IR website. After BlueBird 7, our satellite will support a stackable configuration of 3, 4, 6, and 8 satellites per launch, which allow us to meet our 2026 deployment goals.
The expectations by AST SpaceMobile and other customers of Blue Origin mean that the company will need to pick up the pace of its flights. It's something that LIMP says they're prepared to tackle.
We have a lot of customers waiting for us to succeed, and there's nothing that makes you happier in business and in your life when you see the smile on customers' faces.
I mean, yeah, speaking of that, customer focus is a big part of what we do here. Escapade being our first customer, NASA being our first customer. How do we intend to use what we learn from this launch and to continue to build great relationships with our customers?
Well, I'm super excited about our relationship with NASA. We obviously have it across many parts of our business, including lunar and other places. Obviously, as we can get more and more successful getting payloads to orbit, I think that gives confidence for other customers. I've never seen such a high demand for launch than right now, and so it's great to see, but it means we have to execute and get our cadence of launch higher and higher.
That begins with the launch of New Glenn Mission 3. Reporting for Spaceflight Now, I'm Will Robinson Smith.